This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judging it blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
We have a jam-packed Friday for you to hear on A's Cast Live before we head to Houston and send it to Johnny Dosco and the two-time World Series champion Steve Sachs. We got Geoff Pontes from Baseball America. He's been loving the A's system. We're going to find out how much he's been loving the A's system, especially the pitching coming up at 3:15. Robert Flores, Roflo from MLB Central and MLB Network will be here at 3:30, and then the Mark Kotsay show at 3:45. Jam-packed, of course, Hall of Fame weekend this Sunday. The ceremony is one of my favorite parts of the baseball season. It's such a special time. We have like 56 Hall of Famers going to be showing up this year. It's one of the largest that we have seen. It's so cool when Brian Kenny announces all the Hall of Famers. Even like Sandy Koufax is going to be back this year to see the greatness of our game. Introducing this Hall of Fame class, when you look at Ichiro Suzuki, he is the one guy that was truly a no-brainer, one of the greatest players who have ever played. CC Sabathia, Billy Wagner, Dick Allen, and of course the Cobra, former Athletic, and the great Dave Parker, all going in this weekend. So lots to talk about and to get into. The trading season has begun, folks. It happened yesterday during our game. Josh Naylor, the big name out there on the board offensively with his teammate Eugenio Suarez, two Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks recently struggled against the Astros. Then it became time to sell. Josh Naylor goes to the Seattle Mariners, instantly makes them better. I don't have it in front of me anymore, but I think it was for the number 13 and 16 prospect.
Correct, yes.
of the Mariners. Immediately, I don't know if it's enough to catch the Houston Astros, who have a bazillion guys hurt. And so for the Houston Astros, they're going to be getting guys back. It's like they don't need to go make deals. They're going to be getting, Yordan Alvarez hasn't played since May. At some point they're going to get all these guys back. I like the deal for Naylor. I just don't know if it will be enough to track down the Houston Astros. And then Ryan McMahon is off the board, the Colorado Rockies third baseman. He goes to New York. And it really kind of shows you where baseball is in 2025. The New York Yankees are picking up McMahon. He's 30 years old. He's having an okay year. He was an all-star last year. You're going to have pop when you play in Colorado. He's left-handed hitter, so he's going to hit him at Yankee Stadium. But I had to look at the money. 12 years remaining on the salary, $16 million next year and the year after that. They recently, DJ LeMahieu just got ousted. They've moved Jazz Chisholm back to second base, and then they've been trying to go with the combination over there at third base with Peraza and Vivas. Vivas was the kid who got thrown out by Acuna Jr.
Yep.
And it looked like, I guess they've had some issues with him on hustle. So they're going to get those guys out, put McMahon in, and now the Yankees are off the board for Suarez. So those are the two key moves so far at the trade deadline. Naylor going to the Mariners and McMahon leaving the Rockies and going to the New York Yankees. And the Yankees have a third baseman for the first time in a while because it's kind of been a donut hole at third base for the Yankees. Chisholm didn't perform bad and had some pop, but it's not his natural position.
Yeah, I feel like for years they've been looking for someone. Remember when they had Chase Headley and then, Gio Urshela was there. And then
Mike Pagliarulo's not walking through that door.
Miguel Andujar was there.
Great. Where's Nettles? Where's old man Nettles?
I'm sure he's still around somewhere. But yeah, I
think he's in Arkansas.
That was a good move for the Yankees to get Ryan McMahon. Not that expensive. Colorado can get off because they're finally going to maybe do a full rebuild. They never really did that. They held on to their guys forever, but they're going to have a whole regime change.
The Rockies. talking to Shooty, who knows all the scouts and everything. It's like the Rockies are like, they're archaic with analytics.
Mm-hmm.
They're archaic with their scouting. Just everything is just run amok. Like, and now you're going to go into it's a disaster. But I don't know. McMahon's hitting 217.
His splits away from Coors Field, he's hitting like under 200 as well.
And now you're leaving Colorado to go to a AL East division drive. I'm not saying the pennant. You're trying to win the division and maybe claim a wild card spot. And you start looking at where your Bronx Bombers are. The Toronto Blue Jays now technically have a stranglehold.
Isn't it like 4.5 games or something
on this division at 4.5? I mean, you got to remember, Toronto was down. Toronto last night went in and kicked the crap out of Detroit, who Detroit's not playing well. They're just 1-10. They're out 11. But if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, you go, oh, that's the big move the Yankees made. They got Ryan McMahon hitting 217, and you think he might flip a couple balls over the wall at Yankee Stadium? Does that scare you if you're the Toronto Blue Jays?
Probably not. I'd be more worried if the Yankees can make another move. They've been rumored to want to get O'Neill Cruz from the Pirates. Good luck. I like him, but if that's the guy you're going to go after to play center field, so let's see what the Blue Jays do.
Why would they get? What are you going to do with Bellinger?
Isn't he free agent after the season?
Well, you're talking about what you got now. You got to win. They're with it.
The rumor was yesterday.
Yankees are. I
love the rumor mill.
I am done. You know why I don't listen to it? Because it's all fake now. Because there's hardly any big moves that are going to be made, just like last year. People don't want to give up their prospects. The two guys that the Yankees are giving up are in high A.
Yeah, and then obviously the one other trade that happened today, not as big as this, but the Orioles traded Gregory Soto, the reliever, to the Mets for a couple prospects, I believe. So there's that. But yeah, the big name is Eugenio Suarez, and is Gino going to go to Seattle?
Eugenio Suarez.
He does have like 35 home runs, but when you think of big names at the deadline, I said it was going to be Naylor. I could still be right saying Naylor was the biggest name traded, but we'll see.
I like Naylor, and I think he makes the Mariners better. But really? This is. And you think Suarez, once he gets put into a pressure situation, I don't know. The trading deadline, unfortunately, just isn't what it used to be. And it's just going to be a bunch of people. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope we have a lot to talk about. I think it's going to be a couple dudes, and the rest is going to be a bunch of bullpen arms, because that's what everybody's going to. And so you're going to be getting bullpen arms. You're going to go, so this guy had it, it'll be bullpen. Put it this way. We love Lucas Ursig, right? But when he was traded from the Athletics to Kansas City, how many people in baseball even knew who Lucas Ursig was?
Not many.
He was a guy that was the Brewers' third baseman in AAA not that long ago, right? There's these random names of guy. This guy was in Mexico, and he's now turned it around. It's random.
Sounds like the whole Padres bullpen.
Yeah, it's a bunch of random guys. All right.
Now, by the way, one of those guys we got back in the trade with Kansas City is now a Dodger in their bullpen, Will Klein. So that just shows you how much that these relievers move around.
Getting ready for today's game. Did you know Jeffrey Springs has been better at home this year than on the road?
I'm always so curious looking at his first to the third inning. I never looked at his home road splits.
Yeah, he's actually better at the ballpark in West Sacramento. He's given up more home runs, but he's pitched more on the road, and the numbers, the OPS for the offense against him is higher. Way more doubles have been hit on the road. So Jeffrey Springs, I didn't realize that, but Jeffrey Springs has a whip under 1.3. You want to whip 1.3 or below. Anything 1.3 or higher, it's essentially it's how you're preventing runners from being on base. Walks, hits, innings pitched, right? You want a low whip. That means there's not a lot of traffic on the bases, which means can't score a lot of runs.
Yeah.
Right. So even if you're going to give up home runs, you're giving up solos. So he's got a whip just over 2. So Springs has had a pretty decent year. We're going to hear from Mark Kotsay. It doesn't really sound like anybody's going to get traded. We'll just have to wait and see. But if there probably was a guy for the Athletics that could be dealt, I know there was rumors that I saw MLB trade rumors had, it's all these. We're hearing, no one's saying who they're hearing it from. So they brought up Soderstrom, which I don't think is going to happen. I believe a lot of the a lot of the stuff about the A's, it's kind of gone a little quiet lately. I think a lot of it's noise. If there probably is a guy, it might be Springs if we get traded.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you might look at someone a team might want to get Urshela or Andujar. Maybe
no one's going after Urshela. He's got 0 home runs. Because he had 3 hits last night.
Plays good on defense.
Oh God!
The one guy I mentioned to you guys last night.
I can't believe you said that.
I was talking to Martine about it last night. They're all getting hot now because the deadline's coming.
So he has 3 hits in a game. He has 0 home runs at a third baseman. Do you think someone's going to trade for him?
Veteran presence for a young club might want him. The one guy I mentioned to you guys last night that could maybe be a guy that's teams are interested in because he's pitching well is Michael Kelly, but I don't think we trade him. But I mean, he's a guy that you're looking for a bullpen
Once
arm.
Again, the guy was suspended because of gambling, and if he gets traded, the baseball world will go, Who? What? That guy got to who? What's he been doing? Oh yeah, he's pitching a couple games because he's just coming off a suspension from gambling. I mean that's where the trade deadline is. Nick Kurtz, by the way. Last night, I thought his game showed you why he's different than just a slugger. Remember what he did in his first at-bat?
Yeah, he went the other way.
He went deep. Left center. Biggest part, Dakin, however you say it, ballpark. It'll always be Minute Maid.
Oh, you're talking about, I think meant overall. Yes, last night he flew out to the left center.
Last night, deep left center field.
Like the deepest part of the ballpark.
Probably out in a lot of other ballparks. But what does he do after that? He gets 3 hits. 2 of them the other way. He is like a combination. I don't want the Jim Thome comp. I still don't buy it. He is like a combination of Sean Casey and Jim Thome. He has the ability to be, he's like a really good hitter in a massive body. And I'm not so sure he loves the big Amish, by the way, but he's like this massive hitter in a big body. He has the ability just to go the other way. Line drives the other way. He's not up there just ripping and trying to hit everything out of the ballpark. And what's special about that is players like that, if they do go in slumps, they don't stay in it long because he has the ability to let the ball get deep, go the other way, get base hits, take what they give you, and still hit the ball at the ballpark. It's not grip it and rip it, and I'm trying to hit the ball out every single time. That approach last night, I was like, wow, especially after that first at-bat that you thought, oh, that might be out of here off the wall. I mean, that is the deepest part of the park, I think, other than Towles Hill, whatever they used to call that.
It was Towles Hill before, yeah. Now
do you remember who Towle was?
No.
Towles Hill, remember the old ballpark there, Minute Maid in Houston? They had the American flag. The pole was actually in play on Towles Hill. And I remember I looked it up like, who's Towle and who named? He was their former president of the Astros. I went, you guys named, you put a hill in center field that could really hurt people and named it after a former team president? Not like it's Nolan Ryan or Mike Scott or Glenn Davis or any of the Julio Cruz,
Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio,
great Astros.
Billy Wagner.
We're going to name it after the former president of the team who no one knows who the hell he is.
Well, I mean, they must have had a falling out or something happened because they took that hill out years ago.
So the fact that he then goes the other way twice, also pulls one, just shows you what kind of hitter he is. And we'll highlight this later on NBC. How about the debut of the ambidextrous Carlos Cortez?
Batting leadoff for the A's tonight.
And Nick Kurtz second again. Yeah. So Jacob Wilson struggling, put down. Lawrence Butler struggling, put down in the order. But this kid, and what I want to see more than anything, have him play outfield and infield in the same game, where in the outfield, he naturally throws left. Remember, he's ambidextrous. Not what the once North Carolina State basketball player said, I'm amphibious, if you remember back in the 80s. He throws right-handed when he plays infield. Can you imagine watching a player come in from the outfield and get an infield glove and then throw right-handed, whether he's playing, I don't know, second, third? I don't know if he can play short, but he can play infield. Can you imagine the same game you play right-handed and left-handed? Have you ever seen that?
I haven't, no. I mean, the only time we've ever seen a switch pitcher was when the A's had Pat Venditti.
That was crazy.
And that was like 10. Well, now I think there's a kid in college doing it, or there's a kid in the minor leagues that's doing it now. I forget his name, but you don't see that. But yeah, the guy throwing left in the outfield, playing right, or throwing right in the infield, I haven't seen that ever that I can remember.
Won't it be? I mean, it'll be so odd to be like, man, that guy was just throwing the ball left-handed from right field. Now he's at second base throwing right-handed. I mean, I got to see that, because then that Elias or David Feldman, someone's got to figure out, has that ever happened in the game of baseball before?
It's a good question.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy, but he first, gets his first sac fly, has a put out, and then has a base hit. And we hadn't seen that in a debut since Martin Gallegos informed us. It was Ramon Laureano. Pretty cool. Going to lead off tonight. A 3rd-round pick by the Mets. Another guy that's looking to get an opportunity and to see the wife with the young baby in the stands and the family. I mean, that was awesome to see last night. It was a great Severino, something I want to get into later on today that we'll get into about Severino. It's like, hey, when your lead horse doesn't pitch well, how does that affect the rotation? Versus when he is going well, how does that affect the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a guy that's supposed to be the leader, so hopefully you can build off of that with these guys, especially Springs. I mean, I get it. We saw it in the notes today. We talked about Severino. The first thing in the notes about Springs was, oh, this could be his last start. So we'll see how Springs does and see. I'm not
going to be shocked if we don't make any moves.
I mean,
I'm not. I'm really not.
We really don't have to.
Which, from our standpoint of this show, whether guys come or go, as long as they're not named Kurtz, Wilson, Clark, Soderstrom. I do not want to see Sody go. Muncy, like the guys that you think are the young core. Langoliers, Rooker. Everybody else, if somebody goes, it's not going to affect our show, right? It doesn't change. So I know when people go, well, yeah, you guys work for the team. It doesn't affect us either way, whether a pitcher stays here or goes, right? I know a lot of people talk Mason Miller, and you can make a case for keeping Mason Miller, and you can make a case for, yeah, if you can get the right package for him, you move him. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Mason Miller, we have not seen, let's just say the A's have a great year next year, and you go, okay, Mason Miller's got to have the workload of a winning team's closer. That means 70-something appearances. We don't know. Do we know if he can do that? Do we know?
I don't think we don't know.
He had 55 last year, and they had to baby him through 50. So I'm saying I love Mason Miller. I'm just saying from a pitching standpoint, where the team is, I could see it's not going to affect us either way if people come or go.
I don't think it ever has it?
No, but I'm just saying with the young, there's certain guys like, no way, these guys are core.
Yeah,
guys.
I mean the rumors. I didn't see the rumors about Soderstrom, but I mean,
it was MLB trade rumors brought it, but they're nothing is substantial, right? Like clearly when the D-backs went through this latest little slump, they let it be known to everybody they're open for business. So it became real. Whether they're going to get rid of Kelly or Gallen or what they're going to do with Suarez, but they let everybody know they were open for business. We've had people say that Stephen Kwan's going to get traded by the Guardians. You buy that? I don't buy that.
I think it was in an ESPN article yesterday. They said they had him getting traded to the Dodgers.
I think that people are grasping because unfortunately the trading deadline, which used to be such a great time, has been kind of a dud. And a lot of people are, you have so many people that are in it. So many of these front office people now, they value their prospects more than ever. That's just fact. And the days of Billy Bean and that era and wheeling and dealing and people are trading and go back to the movie Moneyball, get Savvy Saves on the line. And next thing you know, we're doing 3-team trades and we're getting everybody in and we're doing all that. These guys are like, well, I can't give up this kid Nayball. He's our 6th rated prospect. I mean, that's where the game is.
I like Anderson. You don't even know who he is.
I mean, that's where we are. They don't want to trade anybody. So it's like, yeah. I assuming with the way you are acting, the guest is not here.
Yeah, he hasn't, and he never responded to my message. So
okay, all right. Will you put up Donkey from the South San Francisco Firehouse? Donkey is a first responder. We love him. He's a fireman here in San Francisco. We are in San Francisco, by the way, at the NBC studios. It's where we do this show. And then, of course, if we're not at my home studio, that's the A's road studio, and we're not at the ballpark in West Sacramento, we're here. And Donkey sent this today. New artwork. We've been getting a lot of our artwork. Obviously, the Milwaukee Mauler, great champion wrestler who is one of our great fans, who's never even been to Milwaukee, by the way, the Milwaukee Mauler. This is new artwork, AI done. Might be my new, I might put this on all my, I don't really do social media anymore, but I love it. Clownie is official. How do you like it?
I like how it was done. I know how they did it, but still, I'm not going to.
He had a random stadium behind. I said, no, you gotta get something that looks like, it's kind of missing the pyramid. The building, it looks like a pyramid. It's kind of missing that, but at least the scoreboard is kind of looking right. I mean, it's getting closer to what I think we could use. I do like it. The official Clownie of A's Cast Live. So if you're listening on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network, I apologize. It's basically a clown in a A's uniform. It's a green top, gold pants, and Clownie across the front. Yeah, take that. Holding a balloon. So to all my favorite people on social media, I give this gift to you when you call me all the names that you're calling me on social media now. Yeah, take that. Clownsin. There it is. Clownie the clown. I like it.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting for sure. Nice work by Donkey to get that.
Yeah. There is always a time in people's employment where they jump the shark and you wonder why they're no longer with somewhere they work. You've worked with people like that, right? They did something and you went, oh, that's kind of why they're no longer here. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. I mean, I've only had 2 jobs in my professional career, but yes, I've had that happen multiple times.
Well, with you wearing an Ichiro shirt on A's Cast Live, if you wonder why Cody won't be here in the future, today might be the day that your career jumped the shark with the green and gold. You're wearing an Ichiro shirt on an A's division rival A's show. You're wearing an Ichiro shirt.
Well, I've been let it be known for years that Ichiro is my favorite player of all time, and I never really got it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. You're a Pirates fan from Pittsburgh, and Ichiro's your favorite player of all time. You're all over the board.
Was I supposed to say my favorite player of all time was Geoff?
Dave Parker.
Well, I was too young to see Dave Parker.
Bill Madlock.
I mean, Brian Giles was a nice little player, but
Kent Colvey.
Those guys were all way before I was growing up. But no,
Doug Drabeck.
Drabeck was also
Bobby Bonilla.
All these guys are way before me.
Andy Van Slyke, a guy you might have heard of named Barry Bonds.
I mean, McCutcheon's pretty good. I like him.
Jay Bell.
I was going to say Jay Bell, but I always remember him and Womack as D-backs. But yeah, so no, I the whole story with Ichiro for me was when he came into the league. I remember I went shopping with my grandmother at the mall, and I was a big sports baseball card collector, and I opened a pack of Topps baseball cards. And I opened it, and I looked, and I'm like, who the heck is Ichiro Suzuki? And I was like, okay, I'll hold on to this card. And then Ichiro has the MVP and Rookie of the Year season in 2001. And, I mean, 3,089 hits. He got his 300th hit, or 3,000th hit and a triple for the Marlins in right field at Coors Field. I mean, he had a nice career. And I was actually going to try to go to the Hall of Fame to see him go in this year, but it was just too much hassle to get up to Cooperstown. And my wife was like, well, why don't we stay in Buffalo and drive? And I'm like, I'm not driving from Buffalo to Cooperstown. So that's kind of where my love for Ichiro has been. So it could have been worse. I could have worn it on Monday, the day after, when we actually played the Mariners.
Yeah, I want you to wear the Ichiro jersey. I mean,
I have a jersey, not a jersey.
He is the one guy that is the no-brainer. Like, if you look at these guys going into the Hall of Fame, I mean, to me, CC's a no-brainer, but that's me. What do I matter? I'm not a voter. There's still people like, CC, you're going to put him in? I think he's a no-doubter. Billy Wagner obviously getting in on his last try. Ichiro's a first ballot no-doubter. He's truly one of the greatest hitters all-around players. His defense, the rocket arm, his ability to run, the bases, the ability to steal bags. He had 500 stolen bases, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he did everything.
Yeah, he
played
did
good
everything.
Defense.
Don't tell me he would have. He was 27 when he got here. He's over 1,000 hits behind Pete Rose. He's a long way away, and who knows what a really young Ichiro would have looked like in Major League Baseball. He would have looked like a little child when he would. I mean, I don't think Ichiro's coming up at 19.
Probably not, but hey, if you figure if he gets there at 21, 22, 5 years to 200 hits, that's 1,000.
Would he have gotten here in 20? I mean, has anyone ever looked at his nut? When did he get into pro ball?
I actually never looked at his when he started.
Yeah, no one ever brings that up. Like, was he in the Japanese pro leagues at 20, 21? Look it up real quick.
See if they have
like when did he start? So if he didn't start there, obviously we wouldn't have started. It's a non. Yeah, Baseball Reference should have his stuff, right?
18.
He was 18.
He was 18, but he only played in 40 games and then 43 games the next year. So his real full season was when he was age 20. Yeah, and he had 210 hits that year.
Yeah, but that's it, bro. It goes to 179, 185, 181, 141. He's a great player. There's no question, and I'm glad he's in. Good friend of Bob Melvin, and I'm glad I got to experience. If you remember back in 2019, the A's, we go to Japan, and it was Ichiro's last game, and the game ends. And I'm doing the post-game show, and we're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, Ichiro comes out. No one had left the Tokyo Dome. And it was like the biggest star you've ever seen. I don't know, you name Elvis, somebody like came out, and the flash, it looked like the Olympics, the flash bulbs, all the phones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, because people were using actual cameras. It was crazy. It was crazy. And he walked around the stadium. It was unreal. I mean, we've experienced great players retiring. Like we've seen it here,
mm-hmm.
right? You know, think about the great Niners, whether it was Montana or Steve Young or Jerry Rice. I mean, but this is a guy saying goodbye, retiring for a country, not for a city. It was unbelievable. The great Ichiro Suzuki. Coming up next, who are we going with next?
Robert Flores.
Robert Flores from MLB Network, one of the hosts of MLB Central next, right here on A's Cast Live.
To athletics.com/AceCast. That's athletics.com/AceCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/AceCast today.
A's All-Star Jacob Wilson joined Towny on A's Cast Live to talk about being named the starting shortstop for the American League in this year's All-Star game in Atlanta.
You can't even describe it. You know, they're just, it's everything you ever wanted as a baseball player, to be able to hear those words. And, a countless amount of thank yous that, go out to the teammates, coaches, the people that you have in your corner on a daily basis. And it was a crazy day for me. And, super grateful, super thankful for this year so far. And, just being able to, really excited to take it in the second half.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast.
When it comes to knocking it out of the park, nobody beats Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is a 7-time Triple Crown Award winner, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, for being the best in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Step up to the plate for our biggest selection of new Ford models, including the legendary F-150, on sale now. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters in the Folsom Auto Mall. FolsomLakeFord.com.
That ball is out of here.
For just $25, fans can sit in the general admission outfield grass for all regular season home games. Tickets for that day's game will open up daily at 9 a.m. for purchase at athletics.com/lawn. Sign up to receive A's alerts to receive a text the first morning of each home series as a reminder. For more information, visit athletics.com/lawn.
2025 All-Star Brent Rooker joined Towny on A's Cast Live to reflect on becoming an All-Star for the second time in 3 years.
And I walked in that locker room in Seattle and saw my jersey and saw the rest of the jerseys that were there. And, it's kind of like one of these things doesn't belong here. And that's probably mine. I didn't feel like I was the same caliber of player as the rest of the guys in that clubhouse. So to be able to do it again 2 years later, just continues to help me build confidence and know that I can go out there day in, day out and compete at a pretty high level.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast.
Streaming from NBC Sports, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
It's always interesting to watch people's careers and how they evolve. The last – do we have Robert Flores? Was it last year, 2 years ago? I think it was last year.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
So, and I remember talking to him, because years ago I had him on my old talk show on 95.7, The Game in San Francisco, when he was an anchor at Sports Center.
Yeah, that's
right.
Wild. Yeah,
he was on Sports Center. You thought, and so many of their top talent just left, and all of a sudden, all these guys just, Brian Kinney was there. Brian Kinney did a lot of stuff, and obviously with all the boxing, and he went to MLB Network. God damn, I was just like seeing a thing from Tahoe. The celebrity golf tournament up in Tahoe where Barkley was on with Dan Patrick, and they were talking about it. I mean, Dan Patrick's been in the business for like 40 years, but you think of all that Sports Center talent that was there just vanished, right? These guys all saw the writing on the wall. I don't know what Sports Center pays now. I'm sure these guys are not. Disney has gone on the cheap in a lot of ways. No, they got to spend all their money to get the NFL Network, I guess. But Robert Flores was one of, he was emerging as one of the young next big dudes on Sports Center, and then he went to MLB Network. Adnan Virk was another Sports Center guy that did. So, like, you saw NFL Network, Major League Baseball Network, they started poaching the ESPN guys. And the show, MLB Central, is a phenomenal morning show. Comes on at 7 a.m. out here, so it's early. And, of course, I sleep in, I tape it, and I run through it every day. Lauren Chahadi is a great talent. Mark DeRosa is the best. He's D-Rose the man. And Robert Flores. And they do a great job covering all the teams. That part of the problem is certain parts of the country get covered, and that's what they worried about. But MLB Network covers everybody. Like when our players rolled through New York, our guys have been highlighted a couple of years ago. Brent Rooker went on. It was huge for him. It kind of put him on the map, right? Because you go into a clubhouse and everybody's watching MLB Network. So, and then they had Mason Miller last year, and this year they had Butler, Jay Willie, and who else was?
Denzel
Clark. And now that D-Rose done a whole thing on Nick Kurtz, it's been big. So earlier today, we got a chance to sit down with Robert Flores, Roflo, as they like to call him, from MLB Central. Joining us once again here on A's Cast Live from MLB Network, one of the hosts of MLB Central, a must-watch morning show in Major League Baseball. Even though West Coast people, you got to get up early or you got to tape it like I do and you watch it every morning. Robert Flores, how are you? It's good to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I got to tell you, for a baseball morning show, what you guys have accomplished over 1,000 shows is the ability to break down the game, show us the highlights, but also have a good time, be a morning show. That's not, baseball isn't always the most fun sport to cover. You guys have done a great job doing the nuts and bolts, but the entertainment part also, and doing it for over 1,000 shows.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. And, I joined the show in 2018, and what I thought, I always, my favorite show is Inside the NBA with Kenny and Shaq and Charles and Ernie. And I really wanted our show to basically rip off that show as much as possible. And what that show has, and I'm hoping that we also bring to the table, is just great chemistry. We're not afraid to laugh at each other or make fun of each other or ourselves. But the most important thing is the game and the players, and we try to honor both.
Don't worry, I've been ripping off TV and radio people my entire career. I've been doing it almost 30 years. You guys do a great job. And, it's like today watching the show, and you have kids and their parents send in swings, and D-Rose, Mark DeRosa, D-Rose going to break it down.
Yeah.
The one kid shows up with a helmet. Who knows if he just came in from outside? D-Rose ripping him for having a helmet. Then the kid, his base, his feet are too close together, and watching your face – It was hilarious watching your face going, D-Ro, you really ripping this kid?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our favorite segments, Sandlot to the Show, where people send in clips of their young player, and D-Ro breaks them down and tries to make them better, tries to compare their swings or what they're hoping to become to current major leaguers. So it's one of our favorite segments, and D-Ro is passionate about teaching people the game, especially kids. So yeah, we definitely have a little fun with that.
All right, before we start talking some A's and some Astros, I know you grew up in Houston. You're a big Astros fan. NASCAR, I love the idea of our sport. I used to work for the Raiders, so I did a game at Wembley Stadium. I love how when we do different things in sports and how we connect with different fan bases. You're going to be there for the NASCAR event. You guys are going to do the show there at Bristol. I think it's going to be groundbreaking. Tell us about how it's going to work out.
Yeah, we're going to be doing MLB Central from Bristol, Tennessee on Friday, and then a special Saturday edition to get you ready for Saturday's game between the Braves and the Cincinnati Reds at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. I've seen some video of the scenics of the build of the baseball field. It's going to look great. It's going to look fantastic on television, and then I can't wait to see what it's going to look like in person. So I agree with you. Any chance that Major League Baseball can, because it's 162 games of the regular season. It's long. So if you can find any way to still keep the integrity of the regular season, but add a little bit more juice and spice and make it a premium or jewel event during the course of a regular season. We saw it in the past couple of years. They had games in London. Now they're going to be at Bristol, Tennessee. I think it's a great idea by the league.
Thing that I love about the network, different from, when you were back at ESPN, everything's going to be Northeast Central. With MLB Network, you cover all the teams, right?
Yeah.
Milwaukee's hot. Got to cover it. Detroit's having a great year. Like, you got to cover everything other than just the Northeast and Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. And you guys do that. You guys have done a great job covering us, recognizing our young core. I know D-Ro loves a lot of our young hitters.
Yeah.
Nick Kurtz right now is arguably the best offensive bat in baseball, with Jacob Wilson's been able to do. What have you guys been seeing with our young core with the Athletics?
Well, just like what you said, Nick Kurtz he's a problem. And we saw that last night against the Houston Astros. In fact, he's really kind of been a thorn in their side in the past few games between the two. He is a fantastic offensive player. Jacob Wilson comes from a great family. Having grown up in clubhouses, you almost got the feeling that he was going to be a finished product right from jump. I think what Brent Rooker has done over the past couple of seasons has been noteworthy, and I'm glad we saw him get a little shine and some run during the Home Run Derby, also during the All-Star game itself. I think the A's are interesting. They really are. They had that really rough patch during the course of the season. The organization has obviously been through a lot. But you can kind of see the building blocks of perhaps something significant there with the Athletics.
And then, of course, taking on your Houston Astros. And I remember earlier this year, Jeff Blum, who does TV for the Astros, went to Cal. He's a good friend of this program. And he's like, I don't know how we're doing it. And then you're watching the game last night and you're looking at the lineup. All the guys that they've lost.
Yeah.
All the guys that are hurt. Does it, as an Astros fan, does it amaze you that you're in first place with the group that you have right now?
Yes, absolutely. When you consider that Yordan Alvarez, who is arguably among the most feared power hitters in all of the game, hasn't played since May. Jeremy Pena, their all-star representative at shortstop, has missed close to a month now with a rib fracture. Jake Myers, who was hitting over 300 and was sort of a revelation at the plate, also gives you premium defensive capability out in center field. He's out with a calf injury. Yeah, it has been remarkable what they have done. I think it speaks to the excellence that the organization demands. It speaks to Joe Espada and his coaching staff, but also Dana Brown and his staff to be able to basically plug and play. And now, just this afternoon, Brandon Walter, who threw 7 innings the other day against the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's going on the injured list with some elbow inflammation. So now make it 18 players on the injured list for the Astros.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, I know the A's won the game yesterday, but when we were doing this show and also doing the TV on NBC, we're like, I don't think people realize they're tied for the best record in the American League.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people, unless you're looking right at the standings, you would think about, well, we know Toronto's been hot. They're kind of slaying the Yankees right now.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see the slide from Detroit coming. I mean, when you looked at the standings, you said, hey, best record in baseball is the Houston Astros. It was eye-popping.
Yeah, I feel like for different parts of the season, especially in the American League, we have said, okay, the Detroit Tigers are the best team in the American League. The New York Yankees, they're the best team in the league. No. It's the Houston Astros for a little bit. Now it's the Toronto Blue Jays. So I think it speaks to what figures to be a very compelling and wide open rest of the season, especially in the American League. And really, I think as a whole, look, the Dodgers came in as heavy favorites to win the whole thing. But, you know, they've shown that they're vulnerable, at least now. They've had their own health issues. So I think that you can count, maybe half dozen teams, maybe close to 7 or 8 teams that you could say right now have a legitimate chance to make a deep run and win the World Series. That being said, there's still a long way to go.
All right, 2 different times in my career I did morning radio, and I faked it, and I hated every minute of it. It is hard to get up and perform. You guys are doing it on TV.
Yeah.
You do a great job, but there's always somebody in the group who's not a morning person. Which one of you on MLB Central is not the morning person?
No, that's a good question. I mean, Lauren wakes up and is at the office way too early, in my opinion.
She wakes up ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. I mean, she's there very early. I think like maybe 6 a.m. Eastern time or 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. Our show comes on at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So, I've kind of grown into a morning person. Maybe it's the work routine, maybe because I'm getting older a little bit, but I don't know who that would be because, like I said, it is a morning show, but it's kind of morning show light. We do come on at 7 a.m. Pacific time, but it's 10 a.m. Eastern, so it's not that heavy of a lift. So I feel like it's the best of both worlds. We're still in that morning show space, but it's not super early.
Well, we always appreciate the time. I'm watching the show every day. I tape it, get up, and I go through it. I think what you guys do is second to none as baseball needs.
Thank you very much.
Baseball needs as much coverage it possibly can, and all the teams do. And the way you guys do it with entertainment and the breakdowns and all the personalities. I love when all the teams come to New York. You highlight all these players that not everybody may know, especially like our guys. I think a couple of years ago, when Rooker came there for the first time after he had that huge start of the season, especially that huge series against the Orioles, I credit you guys for putting him on, and then D-Row ran all the stuff, and then all the other shows ran it. I think you guys are one of the main reasons he made the All-Star team for the first time.
Hey, Brent Rooker, whenever he's ready to stop playing baseball, he is ready for a television career. I was actually blown away. I know what you're talking about. He came in, I believe it was a couple of years ago, and I was blown away with how TV savvy he was, how TV ready he was, and how basically it was effortless. He was actually breaking things down at that big giant skybox monitor that we have. So he was a revelation in that regard. And this year we had Lawrence Butler and Jacob Wilson in studio. We also had Denzel Clark in studio too. So it's great. We really appreciate when guys are able to come in studio during the season, and we appreciate because we know how jam-packed their schedule is, how demanding it is. So it always makes the show a little bit extra special when they can be there in person.
And then you could tell Rooker, which you always say, it's just live television. It's no big deal.
That's right. No, it's not surgery. No one's getting hurt.
All right, Roflo, great stuff, and have
Thank
fun
you.
at Bristol. That should be outstanding.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
All right, you be well. We'll be watching.
Sounds good.
Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford. Skip, how are you doing in Houston?
Well, I mean, see the restroom sign?
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Yeah, we got the Vegas banner behind. We got the restroom. You know. Doing well, Towny. Let's get into Towny here real quick.
Yeah, sure.
You had a couple weeks off, All-Star break. You went to Hawaii. Tell us about your trip. Tell us, what you did on vacation.
It's interesting, and this as your kids get older. Went from being like at the beach with the kids and building sandcastles and doing all of that. And now that my kids are college students, all they want to do is tan and hang by the pool. And I have to force them out into the ocean now to do stuff. But I'm at a point in my life where I'm enjoying as much family time as I can, because I know at some point we won't have that anymore. Like it will dramatically change. So I got 4 rounds of golf, so I took care of me a little bit. But no, it was a great family trip. How was your break?
Well, now let's talk about the golf game. Like, tell me, you started out in round 1, and by round 4, you just got better and better.
So I was in between 82 and 85 for all 4 rounds. I played the Mauna Kea, which is a Robert Trent Jones, which was christened by Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player. And then I played the Mauna Lani, was where they had the skins game all those years with Nicklaus and Player and Watts and all. So you're playing these courses with these plaques everywhere about all the stuff that's happened. It was pretty cool. And, you're playing in Hawaii, you can see Maui. It was spectacular. You got to get to the Big Island. Like, I love Maui, but the Big Island, I've now done it 2 straight All-Star breaks. It's incredible.
Well, black tees, gold, like what level, where we tee it up from?
I played the blue tees. The black diamonds were a little much for my power.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm glad. 82 to 85 is solid. It's, probably a couple of missed putts, maybe one.
Oh, I could have been in the 70s. Yeah.
Okay.
A little windy. There was one plaque on the special hole that's all carry that had Nicklaus' signature, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player, the whole thing. And it's a total ocean carry, par 3. I went back, saw it, took pictures, and then I scoped it. It was 260 yards. So I don't think my skill level was for a 260 par 3 all carry over the water.
Yeah, that's a crushed 3-wood. It's you better not miss it for sure.
It may be driver in the wind.
Yeah, it's driver definitely. Yeah, it could be driver for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A nice win yesterday. How you feeling?
I'm good. It's a tough start to the post All-Star break in Cleveland and in Dallas against the Rangers. We were only able to manage 1 win in those 6 games, but coming in here to Houston, Sevy did a great job last night. It's great to see him throwing the baseball the way he's capable of. He's made some adjustments like we talked about, and just utilizing the fastball, and it's become a weapon, and you can see the success he's having in his last couple starts.
I love what he said after the game, where he goes, "My fastball is elite," and he had 8 strikeouts. 5 of those strikeouts were on the 4-seam fastball. We're in this world where everybody's got a lot of things going on, and sometimes you got to go back to old number 1, and old number 1 is that fastball, and it's still the best pitch in baseball.
I don't disagree, and especially if you have multiple fastballs, which he does. He throws a cutter at 94. He might have hit 96 with his cutter last night, and he hit 99 with his four-seamer. He's got a sinker as well. Anytime you can create that lane with plus velocity, it makes hitting pretty difficult.
No doubt. And, with him, just talk about the mindset that you see that's different, because obviously he was down. He's got a lot of pride. Things weren't going so well, weren't going so hot for him. People are questioning you. Maybe you're questioning yourself. He looks like he's got that swagger back.
Yeah, I think, that start before the All-Star break, we had an opportunity to make a play for him. We didn't. I still saw a difference in just the way he was using his fastball. And like I talked about, I think there was the outing prior to that. We met with Sevy, and I just painted a picture for him of what I was so excited about when we signed him, and watching him last season with the Mets, and the way he just attacked hitters, and in the postseason, just the utilization of his fastball. And so he got back to the simplifying things. And yes, I do feel like, anytime you have success, your confidence is going to grow. And when you lack success, and you start to question for sure. This game is really difficult when for a starting pitcher, you have to sit on the results for 4 days, and then you get one more opportunity on that fifth day to go out. And if it doesn't go well, you sit again. So the mindset and the mental toughness of a starting pitcher can be challenged for sure, even if you've had success in the past, because you want to live up to those expectations, not just for yourself, but for the team.
You lived the trading deadline as a player. You've now had to do it as a manager. There's always noise out there. Really, everything with the Athletics has really calmed down. Do you talk to the players about it come trading deadline?
I talked to them briefly as a group when we came out of the break. The biggest thing for players is, just to be honest with them and transparent. And, they're going to read a lot. It's not the player. It's more so the wife and the family members that are the ones that are reading and questioning, and but most of the guys in this locker room know if there is something on their mind, they can walk in and have a discussion with me, and I'll be completely honest with them and where we're at. And but you're right. For us, there isn't a ton of things going on. We would be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't listen. But in terms of action, I think that the opportunities, to acquire more talent are if they're there, we'll have to measure and weigh how we feel about, the impact of those players.
It's funny. All managers have said through the years, my door is open. But you talk to some players and they go, man, you don't want to go in there and talk to that guy. That's like the last guy you want to go talk to. How important is it for you as a communicator, as a teacher, as a guy who cares about these players, for them to really know that they can come in and talk to you, and they can talk to you about anything? It's just not about baseball.
Yeah, that's continued conversation with the group, especially the young players. When they start to feel comfortable enough to walk in here, and I'm not a scary person. I don't think I come off that way, but anytime you have a position of authority, and you're overseeing futures and have a impact on lives, like you want to be as open and as receptive and as welcoming as possible. And I think these guys know that, but it does take time in any relationship to get comfortable, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Great story yesterday. Carlos Cortez, you think about somebody, third-round pick by the Mets. You've been in the minor leagues for a long time. You finally get the call up. Family's there. Wife's there with the baby. And next thing you know, you're getting the sac fly. You're throwing a guy out. Then you get your base hit. We hadn't seen a debut like that since Ramon Laureano. He's an interesting kid, too. I can't wait. I hope at some point you have him play the infield and the outfield in the same game? Because I've never seen a guy who's ambidextrous throw from the outfield left-handed and then come to the infield and play right-handed. But I mean, he's an interesting story. Tell us about this young player that you have.
Yeah, I mean, he's dynamic in that sense that he can, use both hands to throw a baseball. It's pretty incredible. But like you just described him. I mean, you couldn't describe any better. I'm going to get to know him better now that he's here and he's got this opportunity in front of him to take advantage of. I think I view him very similarly to, and the ceiling's probably high, but what he's done in the minor leagues this season and the last 2 or 3 seasons, right, is very similar to a guy like, Brent Rooker that, got an opportunity that was designated, but then picked up. And, Carlos hasn't been through that situation yet, but he's got 2 months here. If things go well for him to leave that impact, make that impact and, make a decision pretty tough on us going into the offseason for a roster. And I'm hopeful that he plays the way he did last night and continues to get as much opportunity and plays well.
I mean, as a manager, you're going to have to deal with this, right? It's like maybe you start him in right field or left field and he's out there left-handed and you're like, well, maybe he can come in and play. I might need him to play second.
I think that would be like last, the last move we'd want to make.
Is he a good infielder?
But I don't know if I'd feel completely confident and comfortable putting him at second base.
Is he a good infielder?
That's yet to be determined, right? I mean, I haven't seen him take ground balls at second.
Oh, that's crazy. That's great. It's an absolute wonderful story. Mason Miller here down the stretch. How important is it to make sure no matter what's happening, he gets work. He gets a steady diet of getting out there on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, we used him for, what we're trying to do is make sure he touches the mound every 4th, if not 5th day, not going more than that. And in doing that, we can utilize maybe the 8th inning. It's tough in road games when you're throwing him out there in the 8th and then you make a rally, you come back and, so you're trying to get him on the mound, limit the pitches he has to throw in the 8th inning, just to, have him available for the 9th. So there's a fine line in how you get him work and balance not having a closer when the game's on the line. So it was great to get him in the game last night. He came in the 8th inning in a big at bat against Altuve and got Altuve to pop up and finished off the game in the 9th there. So the goal is to get him out there as much as possible. And I think we've played better baseball the last 2 or 3 games. When I say 3 games, the Texas game was a 2-1 game in the bottom of the 7th when they broke it open. But, I think if we can get this pitching going in the right direction, which, Sevy kind of, piggybacked the Ginn start. So really the starters set the tone and go out and, give us a chance. If they can put up zeros, our offense last night scored some runs, which gives the pitchers more room for error. So that's really the formula that we want to get back to. And I think that'll build a lot of confidence with the group.
Let's end on this. With Nick Kurtz last night, the game, I said, this is what's making this kid special is at first at bat, he goes deep left central to the biggest part of the ballpark that could have been gone in a lot of other parks. But then after that, base hits to the opposite field. He pulls one. People worry so much about these young kids and how many home runs they're hitting. He's showing you as a big guy, he's a complete hitter. I think last night's game, you tell me what you saw, ball didn't go out of the yard, but then after that started playing pepper around the yard. He's got tremendous bat control for a kid his size.
Yeah, I mean, the comp right now, Jim Thome, slugger, yet hitter. I think he's showing that ability to hit a pitch, any location, any part of the field, and it can leave the yard. I mean, the 2 balls he smoked the other way yesterday, the line drives, the hard ground ball were hit above 100. Like when he puts a barrel on it, the exit velo is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's it's a lot of fun to watch. All right, Kots, enjoy the rest of your time there in Houston. Good luck in the next 3 games, and then we will see you back in West Sacramento.
Thanks, Towny.
The Mark Kotsay Show brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford.
Here's the pitch, and it's a hit. Folsom Lake Ford has stepped up again, winning the Triple Crown Award, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, now 7 years in a row. Folsom Lake Ford is a top sales leader in the U.S., along with being top in customer satisfaction, in sales, service, and finance. Now that's a home run. Don't miss the huge savings on your favorite models at your truck headquarters. Folsom Lake Ford, in the Folsom Auto Mall.
This has been a presentation of The Athletics.